How you doing? My name's Kevin O'Hara for alcoholmastery.com. Today's topic is a few simple ways to keep your life simple once you've stopped drinking alcohol. I think it's important to try and bring in as much simplicity as you can because things can get fairly complicated when you do stop. I mean, if you think about it, like I said, just starting out on this journey from the beginning, you're going to have a lot of just pressures to change different aspects of your life. Quitting drinking alcohol is just the first step in this, right? It's just the first thing that you do, and then you progress to try and changing all the other areas of your life. The instances where you're using alcohol, you've got to sort of think about what else you're going to do, and then once you start moving away from alcohol, and you need to have a direction that you want to move in, right? So you've got to have something that you want to follow. So simplicity is the key. Try and keep things as simple as possible. Try and focus on one or two things at one time, and push yourself forwards from there, right? So the first thing is to understand that not everything is going to go your way, right? From the beginning, right? Everything's not going to go your way, and you have to sort of understand that. It's going to be like a roller coaster of emotions. It's going to be a roller coaster of things that you get right, and then other things that you don't get right that go wrong for you. And in general, try and keep yourself as much on track mentally as you can. Regardless of what's happening in your outside life, what's happening emotionally for you, if you can try and calm your emotions, calm your thinking, and just use a few simple tools to try and maintain as much of a baseline thinking level as you can, an emotional level as you can. You can go a long way by feeding yourself the right things, both nutritionally, giving yourself lots of water, and filling your brain with good, powerful, motivational material, right? So that you're keeping yourself above that positivity baseline at all times. Number two is that life is too short to slam yourself. So don't be too hard on yourself. When things go wrong, as they inevitably will, don't blame yourself. This is not something that is a personal slight on your behalf. It's not something that is wrong with you. It's something which you need to maybe learn a different skill, and it's something that you might need to slow down and sort of take things a bit more cautiously as you move forwards. So there's different ways of looking at this, but at the end of the day, don't be too hard on yourself for the mistakes that you make. Number three is to remember your own story. Remember what started you out on this journey. Remember why you're doing this, the reason why you started out on this journey. Remember what you want to achieve in your life, both as a short-term thing for quitting drinking, in terms of your family, your friends, your other relationships, your life in general, your work, your finances, all that kind of stuff, and have those goals up there in the front. And remember who you were as well, so this is all part of your story. It's not a bad part of your story. It's not something that you should be shoving underneath the carpet, even your past, because your past is a thing that can drive you on. As long as you're not focusing too much on the past or dwelling on the good times in the past, the in inverted commas, and then you're going to do all right, But as I say, don't be too hard on yourself about this, and always remember your own story, because that's who you are. The person who you are is who you are. You can't change that. This is it. You get one shot at this. Your mistakes are your mistakes, and what you're going to do in the future that's it. It's a fact of life. And number five is to take no notice of the little man. And I mean by the little man, I don't mean anyone who's short in stature. I mean somebody who is small in their mind, who is trying to pull you down and trying to pull you back to their level. That could be anyone. It could be your family, your friends. It could be just people that you meet while you're out and about, when you tell your story to them. It's like these are the people that if you allow them, are going to get into your head. I mean, I remember stuff that people used to say to me, when I was a kid, and simple throwaway sentences that they used ended up being things that plagued me for years and just made me have lots of issues about myself, So that's what I'm talking about, the little man, that kind of negative thinking that's aimed outwards, And most of the time, that kind of thinking is aimed outwards because it's deflecting a lot of shit that's on the inside of these people, So, one of my best ways of dealing with that kind of person is, to say, oh, fair play to you, let me know how that works out for you, and then move on with life, You just can't, there's no point in getting into arguments with these people. It's just try not to let them affect you as little as possible. The fifth way of keeping things simple is to remember that you've got the time, that you don't have to charge in there like a bull elephant, trying to get everything done at once and moving your life forward at just a crazy pace that's going to burn you out. Take things easy, step back a little bit and focus on the things that you want to do that are more or most important for you to do right now. I think that's one of the most important things that you can do is to focus your mind and narrow down your targets until you get very specific about what you want to achieve in the next day. You can have all these long-term goals, and the long-term goals are great, but it all boils down to the next day, right? To what you do in this next minute and how you're going to step yourself forwards. You've got time to do these things. I'm a victim of this myself. Sometimes, you think, oh, I'm 50 now, and I don't have time for this. And I can imagine that. People who are listening that are in their 60s or their 70s think that they don't have the time as well. But, you've got more time on your hands once you stop this poison, right? Once you stop poisoning your system and your life with this shit, right? Not only in terms of your longevity, right? How long you're going to live, right? And not only in terms of the quality of your life, right? But in terms of that you'll remember a lot more, right? I look back at things. I saw a picture coming by on Facebook there recently of my sister's wedding, and I'm just astounded that it was only a year ago. Astounded, because it just seems like it was at least 2, maybe 3 years ago, and that's just a vestige of my old alcohol thinking brain. This is what I used to think. This is how my brain used to work. It was because I had such massive chunks of my life which were just disappeared because of the alcohol, and it's not that I lost the memory, it's because I just didn't remember it in the first place. My memory just, when I was drinking, my memory went, it's like certain stages of my memory went, and because everything that you do when you're drinking tends to be exactly the same thing, you're in the same ritual, you're in the same thinking, the same ritual, the same behavior, the same habit, right? And you do the same things over and over and over again. And once you do that repetitively, right, it becomes one sort of memory, becomes one big block of memory. You can't distinguish one individual memory from the next one, right? So you've got time, right? Regardless of what your age, the younger you are, obviously the more time you're getting for yourself. But, if you're older, then you still have a lot of time. You've got a lot more time in your hands if you quit drinking than if you don't. One of the things that I'd encourage people to do is to keep things as simple as they can in their lives in terms of wearing the same clothes, right, or eating the same food, right? Especially in that first 30 days, right? Try and, have just you don't have to make the decision about what you're going to wear when you get up in the morning. You don't have to make the decision about what you're going to eat when you come home at night, right? Just make sure that it's nutrition, full of nutrition, and eat the same stuff, and it just saves you a lot of mild complication, right, to a normal person. But because you're going through a lot of different stresses and conflicts at this time, right, in those first 30 days, just the more simplicity you can bring into it, including that kind of, bringing things down to that most basic level, getting just a few t-shirts and a couple of pairs of pants and whatever, I'm not saying wear the same stuff every day, right? Obviously change and do that kind of stuff, right? But I'm talking about, don't be worrying about making decisions about, should I wear this or wear that, or should I cook this tonight or cook that, Try and bring that down to the most basic stuff. Eat the same stuff, wear the same clothes. Number 7 is to prioritize, right? Try and do the things that are the most important first. And you're only going to realize this if you can sort of brainstorm what you need to do. Fire out everything onto a piece of paper, or 2 pieces of paper, or 10 pieces of paper, if that's what it takes. Get everything out of your head, And this is a great trick for just trying to empty your head of stress. I mean, a lot of the times when we've got everything built up in our brains, right, and it's all stored in there, it's stored in a very haphazard and random way, and it's very difficult to access it. We know what needs to be done, but it's because it's all sort of jumbled up in there, it can cause us a lot of stress, right? So getting everything down on paper and then organize it on paper, right, and organize it in such a way that well, this needs to be done, that needs to be done, that definitely needs to be done, and this, that, and the other, that doesn't need to be done at all. That's just stuff that I'm, worrying about unnecessarily. And then organize things that, they have to be done, but they can be done in a year, right? Or they can be done in a month or a week. And then you've got the things that need to be done right now. And that's what I'm talking about by prioritizing, is just to get things down to their most basic level, prioritize each individual thing and do things in step-by-step basis. And you'll simplify your life so much, and you'll sort of de-stress yourself, and you just lighten up your life a little bit more. The next one, number 8, is just to try and be yourself all the time. Don't be worrying about being somebody else. I know this is sort of a trite little thing, but it's something that we can complicate our lives unnecessarily with. Trying to be somebody different to everybody in our lives, and it's just impossible. Be yourself, do what you need to do, be true to your own sort of instincts, what you want to do within this journey, and stick to that. And I'm telling you now, it's difficult. I found it one of the most difficult things, because I was one of those people who tried to be a different person to different people depending on what they wanted, right? And a lot of the time I was ignoring what I wanted in my life. Now, with a few exceptions, I'm getting on track to doing that, I'm getting on track to sort of thinking, well, no, this is the way I am, this is who I am, this is what I want to do in my life. And as I say, with few exceptions, if they don't like it, they can go fuck themselves, to put it bluntly, and that's the way I think about a lot of people who, a lot of people just will do this. If you allow them to do this, they will try and push you and push you and push you and push you to do the things that they want to do instead of the things that you want to do. So, as far as I'm concerned, no place for that kind of shit in my life anymore, Number 9 is to understand your reason why. I always talk about this because it's so important, to understand where you're coming from and why you're doing this. And, be as specific as possible. Understand that this specifically is the reason why you're doing this. My reason is my son. Your reason can be anything that you want. But if you give a man a big enough reason why, or an important reason why to them, a most powerful reason to them why, they will put up with anyhow, right? They'll actually, they'll take any weight on their shoulders, and they'll go through a lot of pain and discomfort if they think that they're doing this for a good reason, If you don't have a good reason behind quitting drinking alcohol, how are you going to stick to it in the long run? It's very difficult to do that. And number 10, finally, is to give yourself a break. Both figuratively speaking, you take a break from life in general, and in terms of your head, like I said in number 2, don't slam yourself, don't be too hard on yourself about mistakes and stuff like that. But in general, give yourself a break and put in the hard work, put in the you've got to go into this 100%, right? You've got to have 100% commitment to doing this, to achieving it and stuff like that. But it doesn't mean to say that you can't take a step back every so often and go, right, I'm just going to relax. I'm going to sit here. I'm going to do nothing. I'm going to take a break from all this. And, like pushing yourself forwards and trying to get to that other place where you want to be instead of the place that you were takes hard work. But you need to sometimes just go the opposite way, take a vacation, take a long vacation at least once a year if you can do it, even if that means just being around your own place, but just relaxing from your pursuit of whatever it is that you're going for, and take regular small breaks, both in terms of at the weekends take breaks and take breaks during the day, give yourself a break. Don't be like just so focused on something that you're not relaxing. So that's it. That's 10 different ways of trying to keep your life as simple as possible. I hope you got something out of that. If you want more information about any different aspect of quitting drinking alcohol, then we've got so many different videos over on the website. There's over 600 videos now on just many different topics, from the first 30 days and how to get through those first 30 days, what to do after the 30 days, how to pull yourself forwards into your new life, how to sort of weaken the elastic band that's going on around you, and just keeping your determination, keeping yourself going. So until next time, my name's Kevin O'Hara for alcoholmastery.com. Take care of yourself, stay safe, onwards and upwards. Take care. Good luck to you. Bye now.